so many zoo and wild animals, both in captivity, and most of you might have visited some of the park or the sanctuary. But being a veterinarian and being our role, if we adopt a wildlife medicine, or if we have a chance to visit, or we have a chance to treat some of the wild animals, we should first know where they are, what are the area in which they are located, what are the general problem in that area. So first we have to define what type of area is that. For example, there is different rules and regulations for national park, sanctuary, protected area, so safari, and even in zoo. So regulations will be dealt in a separate class. But accordingly, we have to think of the disease also, the diagnostic procedure, and other investigation process. Beside that, we have so many legal issues regarding because we have a Central Zoo Authority of India, as well as Wildlife Institute of India. They have a certain regulation, as we know, that it's a crime, it's illegal to deal with any wild animals, and even to keep the wild animals as a pet animal. So we will come across the different rules and regulations, and many of the famous persons are involved in this type of killing of the zoo and wild animals. Even when you will face this problem, so when you become a veterinarian and posted in some area, and if by chance that area is full of the forest, then you frequently you have to visit that area, and you have to know the rules and regulation related with this wild animals. So beside that, we have to understand, because the different species that is present in that area, because first we have to identify the species in which group it is, whether it is a canids, whether it is the felids, or whether it is some of the ruminants. That there are different classification, and each species has its own problem, and on that basis we can able to identify their problem and identify the disease. So recognition of wild animals is very, very important once you visit the different open area, that is in wild range, that is in free ranging form. Then your biggest role will be how to restrain the animals. Although this will be not a part of me, I think it will be dealt in surgery, but I have brought just for your knowledge and just for your, because once if you are not restraining the animal, you will not be able to identify, you will not be able to appreciate the different types of problem the animal is suffering from. Or sometime there will be you have a role to play. If some animals comes in human populations, then as a veterinarians, if you are posted in that area, you will be called for restraining the animal, and for that you should have a sound knowledge of anesthesia, the different types of doses, and other types of method to control that species. So this will be your role. So next is how to track the animals. Suppose the biggest problem these days, because there is intervention of the wild animals, and frequently you might be heard there's different types of problems coming in the news, that cheetahs, the lion, the tigress, and especially the different types of felids enters into a human population, and then hue and cry and whole administration start working, and they are looking for the veterinarian, especially to capture that animals, so that there should not be any human mortality. And you have to take care of the wild animal also. You are not going to shoot that animals. You have to capture that animals for that, and whether that animal is located. So their location is very, very important. For you have to watch that animal, you have to see that animals, and then you have to restrain that animal. So that's a very, very cumbersome job. So restraining a wild animal and tracking of wild animals will be your bigger role than the treatment. Just like unlike the companion and the domestic animal, we will concentrate more on the disease diagnosis and the treatment. The disease diagnosis comes generally from the post-mortem examination, especially in the free-ranging form. Although it is possible in case of zoo animals, but it is very, very difficult to diagnose a disease from a single captured animals. So that will come in the later stage. Now, the biggest problem we are facing these days is human and wildlife interface, because the peoples located at the vicinity of forests, they usually face the danger of the wild animals, because the human population is increasing, the jungle and the sanctuaries, and they are shrinking, and therefore in the search of the food, in the search of the different types of things, the wild animals sometimes enters into the human population, and their biggest role will be how to control that. So human wildlife conflict. So this is the era of human wildlife conflict, because it is not the problem of the wildlife. We have intervened into their area, and therefore we are saying that they are entering into our populations. So we are not entering into the wildlife. The wildlife, we are entering into the wildlife, but the wildlife in the search of the food and in the search of the shelter, they sometimes interest into the human population. And again, the most important things, if you are, any of you are thinking and that I should take a challenging job of as a wildlifers, and it's a very good news for all of you that the government of Bihar has make a separate cadre for the wildlife, and recently 10 doctors from the Bihar government, they deputed in the wildlifers, and they are getting training in this. So Bihar has initiated a very good things so that they are become expert of the wildlife, and whenever there is required, they can be deputed for the different jobs. So identification of endangered species, and the most important and the most challenging job you will face sometime is the forensic. Means you know, the illegal trade is there. So even keeping of a hair of an animal, wild animals, is a bigger crime. And you see several type of pendant and different types of things I will show to you. Now it's have become bigger crime, and there is an non-bailable warrant. Even some of you are possessing a ring of a wild animal origin, you may be put into jail. So that is a very, very important thing to identify. So these are the forensic. And last come the disease. I will always talking of the disease because you are a part of veterinary medicine. So I will talk of the disease, but when you will enter into a wildlife, this disease come at the last, because initially you have to tackle with so many problems. So coming to the just a data, the forest area, the geographical area, the India possesses around 21.54%. We have a national park of 104 in number. We have a wildlife sanctuary of 551, and we have a protected area of 870. So this is the Indian scenario. I'm going a little bit fast because this is not a part of your syllabus. Just for sensitizing you in a wild and zoo animals, I'm giving all this data. Now coming to the Bihar too possesses a bigger geographical area as a forest. So we have a national park, one. Can anyone tell me what is the name of that national park the Bihar has? Anyone?
So Valmiki Tiger Reserve.
Very okay. So we have one national park. I will give you just a list of every types of sanctuary, park, and different protected area the Bihar has. So we have sanctuary also 11, and we have a protected area of 3,208.47 kilometer square. So this is the list, because sometime after 1 and 2 years, I think this is a very, very bigger area. So some of might be posted in the vicinity or even in that cadre also. So we have a Barela SAZS sanctuary in Baisali. Just you go, just you have to just think of the, you see the biodiversity the Bihar has. Bimban sanctuary in Munger, it's a sanctuary. Gogabil Pakchi Bihar in Katihar. And some of you might be close to this area also. And knowing this area, then Gautam Buddha sanctuary in Gaya, it's a sanctuary. And Kamur Rohtas, it's a sanctuary. Then Kanwal Jheel Bird Sanctuary in Begusarai. Then Kuksetwar Asthan in Darbhanga is a closed area. I think people go for a worship also in this, I think, place also. It's famous for some Devi or Deptas. Kuksetwar Asthan, I heard that, but I have not visited any one of them. Then Nagi Dam, किनके लिए पूजा होता है? Okay, सुना है मैंने नाम. Okay. Okay, बोला बाबा, अच्छा उनका दिन चल रहे हैं. Then चलिए, तो Nagi Dam Bird Sanctuary in Jamui, we have been Nakti Dam Sanctuary in Jamui again. Rajgir Sanctuary, Nalanda, it's a sanctuary, but again a very good news for all of you that we are very soon going to open a safari in this area. So people will be have a glimpses of the wild animals in open. So and the work has started. They have made a fence, and we are in the team of preparing that safari. So very soon safari will come in this area. then Sanjay Gandhi Botanical Garden, and you are all well versed and go there. And we will go there as a practical courses also in if we have a summer demo on the what I will show today. Then Udaipur Sanctuary in West Champaran, and also as you talk Valmiki National Park, it's a very famous park close to the Nepal also. So there is a adjoining area of Nepal, and so most of the wild animals have a close connection with Nepal also, and it's very, very difficult to control the wild animals of India and Nepal in moving here and there. So this is the problems and the problem of poaching. Yes, हम बताइए क्या कर रहे थे?
सर अब तो वो कर दिया गया, पूरा सवाल कर दिया गया है,
कर दिया गया है, लेकिन आपको पता है कि सबसे बड़ा जब वाइल्ड लाइफ में हम बात करते हैं तो इलीगल ट्रेड, आज जो आप कोरोना के बारे में भी बात करते हैं, चाइना पे इतनी बात होती है, नेपाल से बात होती है, तो सबसे बड़ा जो धंधा इसमें लगा हुआ है, स्टिल पोचिंग इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम. सो फेंसिंग हो चुका होगा, बाल हुआ होगा, फिर भी ये लोग इसी में लगे रहते हैं. एंड हम लोग वाल लगाते हैं ऐसे जगहों पे जहाँ पे लैंड हो. सपोज इफ देयर इज अ वाटर लैंड एरिया, बहुत सारे ऐसे जगह होते हैं जहाँ से स्टिल देयर इज एक्सेस फॉर द मूवमेंट ऑफ द एनिमल. अब गैंडा के बारे में हम बात करें, ओके, राइनोज के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो वो ऐसे जगह से फ्लोट कर जाता है जहाँ से वाटर बॉडी हो, इस तरह का बहुत सारे ऐसे ओपन एरिया अभी भी स्टिल देयर इज अ चांस. अब इतना आसान नहीं है कि गाय भैंस की तरह उसको हम बांध करके, देयर इज स्टिल प्रोसेस, बहुत सारे इलेक्ट्रिक वायर लगाने का प्रोसेस है. थ्योरी में बहुत कुछ है कि ऐसा कर देने से हमारा वाइल्ड एनिमल्स इधर से उधर नहीं जाएगा and poaching problem will be restricted. We are trying and we have tried. So that is also a conceptual thing, but still you cannot manage wild animals as you manage zoo animals as well as our domestic animals. Still, as therefore we call it as it's very difficult to control. Then we have a Gangetic dolphin area in Bikramsila in Bhagalpur. Now dolphin, as you know, it's one of the species that has to be saved for the safety and of our Ganga and also the water bodies. So its safety and its breeding and its increase in population is very, very good for the quality of the water. So for that we have a Bikramsila Gangetic dolphin situated in Bhagalpur area. So this is just a glimpses of different types of sanctuary, water bodies and closed area botanical garden Bihar has. So as per the species, there are numerous species are there, but I'm just giving we have a tiger, leopard, bear, hyena, bison, cheetal, deer, crocodile, and muggers. There might be other species also that are not listed in this. So there will be two terms will come in this wild animals. One is ex situ and other is in situ. In situ means that animal remains in open area, in the area where that animal is found. For example, either in sanctuary or in different types of park, open area. But when we bring that animal to the zoo and then keep it in a captivity, we call it as an in situ. As you know, our zoo is very, very famous for breeding of the rhinoceros. So this is an ex situ. Ex means इन से उल्टा नहीं समझेंगे. इन मतलब कि जहाँ पे वो अपने ओपन एरिया में जहाँ पे वो होता है जानवर, वो वहाँ उस जगह का कहेंगे. और अगर उसको उठा करके अगर हम एक कैप्टिविटी में ले आते हैं, that become a ex situ. Now as we know the recognition of the animals, because it's very easy to recognize the animals in a zoo because everything is marked, everyone is knowing, the board is there. But if you are posted or if you are going for some training in a wild animals, you will not be able to even to see a single animal sometime. Hardly when you move into the jungle or either in a safari or on by foot, very rare ruminants you will find. Sometime you will find some deer, sometime you will find some sambar, and all this only a small ruminants. It's very, very difficult to recognize the animals live in case of open area. So that become really a problem. You have to camp there to see the animals. You have to take a indirect several types of measures to see that if that animal is present in that area or not. The presence of that animal in that area can be identified by so many things. You might be knowing, और आप देखते हैं कि बहुत सारे पंजे का निशान कपड़े पे लगा होता है. वाइल्ड लाइफ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंडिया का देखिए, देहरादून का वो देखिए. So we talk about two important things: the indirect identification of animal in that area. So on that basis, we can even think that in this jungle and in this sanctuary, this animal might be present. Although you will see by different method, you can visualize that animals when you go there frequently, or some persons are posted from the wildlife. They used to call the doctors and they say, we have seen a tiger, we have seen a leopard in this area. That is a different thing. But there, as a veterinarian, as a doctor, sometimes it's very, very difficult. You have to take the help of that wildlifers, or you may sometimes take the help of the villagers in that area. But certainly there are so many studies. So first is the pug mark, the animal that move on that area. And it's very, very interesting, because the pug marks are generally found on the roads, the kacha road that is made in the jungle. So they are fond of traveling on that kacha road, because it's very difficult for the animals to move, especially for the cats family, to move in an area, because they are full of thorn. So they used to, especially in the night, they used to walk on that area. So, and it leaves some mark of their foot pad. So this is called pug mark study. On the basis of that, we can think, oh, some animals might have come during this time, or is present in nearby area. And also by seeing their feces, that is called scats, we can see, okay, this scats is here, it means this types of, so you have to recognize the scats. On this two basis, we can indirectly recognize the animals, especially in the free ranging system. So pug means in Hindi foot. The pug mark is the term used to refer to the footprint of the most of the animal. So on that basis, you see how if the tiger or if the leopard, and we have to identify that this is really a type of a study. The pug mark study itself is a big thing, but just for sensitizing you, I have brought. So you see the pug mark, तो आप देख रहे हैं पंजे का निशान, यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं. You can even differentiate the male and the female. Which animal is that on the basis, because once you got this pug mark on the soil, you make a square, you make a measure of that area, and you see the space between the digits. On that basis, we can even classify, okay, this tigress may be there, or the tiger may be there in this area. So on that basis, and even we can differentiate, because sometimes the foxes, the other small canids may be there in that area, and you can confuse. So on that basis, you see, you can classify from leopard, and some dog may be there. So in case of small canids, because of the retraction of the claw, in case of this canids, you will not be able to find the nakhun ka nishan aapko nahi milega. But in case of canines may be there, you see is tarah ka aapke nakhun ka nishan, because they are not able to retract. So these animals used to retract. So you have to differentiate the pug mark of a leopard. You have to differentiate the pug mark of a tiger, and you have to differentiate the pug mark of a dog. So on that basis, we'll be able to appreciate, which is a very easy one. Anyone can appreciate, and I will show this the pug mark that I have taken in my mobile. So these are some of the pug mark I have recently seen in a jungle of the Sariska of the Rajasthan. You see the similar type. So this is the original one taken by me when we were getting a training in the wildlife. And you see the tiger pug mark here. And this is small pug mark you will be seeing here. So ये किसका pug mark हो सकता है? यहाँ पे मैं सर्किल कर रहा हूँ. जस्ट मैंने लिखा नहीं है जान करके, यहाँ पे डिस्कस करेंगे. आपने यहाँ पे तो टाइगर का देख लिया, आप पिछले पिक्चर से आप उसको कंपेयर करते हैं. यहाँ पे ऐसा 3 उंगली वाला कुछ, एक तो श्योर है कि ये कैनेट्स नहीं है, ये डॉग नहीं है. अनंत,
हाइना सर.
एनीवन? हाइना, अभी हाइना का मैं दिखाऊंगा आपको. ये बर्ड्स का है, बिग बर्ड्स, ओके, जो बड़े पंछी चलते हैं ना, तो उसका पग मार्क भी आ सकता है. ऐसा नहीं है कि सर पग मार्क हम टाइगर, लेपर्ड या एलिफेंट का ही देख सकते हैं. हम छोटे जानवर का भी, वो आपको कंफ्यूज ना कर दे, उससे हम पता करना है. क्योंकि आप जंगल में जब आप चलेंगे तो आपको बहुत रेयरेस्ट 20 दिन के ट्रैकिंग में हम लोग ने रात में 6 बजे जब अंधेरा हो रहा था तो एक टाइगर को हम लोग लोकेट पाए बाय नेकेड आई. So visualization of this, especially the tiger, by naked eye is really tremendous, and you will be excited by seeing the animals by your naked eye. So I have a video, इसमें रन नहीं कर रहा है, मैं आपको टाइगर दिखाता कि वो मिलता ही नहीं है, सिर्फ आपको पग मार्क, डेली पग मार्क मिलता था कि आप यहाँ तक आया होगा, आप जहाँ पे स्टे कर रहे हैं उसके बगल तक में रात में गुजर जाता है, वो आता है, ठीक है। आप उस बेसिस पे ही जनरली डिटरमाइन करते हैं। विजुअलाइजेशन बाय नेकेड आई इज ऑलमोस्ट रेयर, बहुत ही, आप 10 दिन 15 दिन लगातार वाटर बॉडी के पास बैठे रहेंगे, जहां पर वो पानी पीने की संभावना होती है, वहां पे बैठे रहेंगे, लोकेट करते रहेंगे। बहुत सारे अदर इंस्ट्रूमेंट हम अभी आपको दिखाने जा रहे हैं, जिससे आप ट्रैक करते रहेंगे, तभी आपको पता चल सकता है कि वो इस एरिया के नजदीक है, और आप वहां पे जाके वेट करेंगे, तब आप उसको देख सकते हैं। Now this is the scats. You see the scats. You can very easily define the scats of the ruminants with that the scats of the carnivores. Okay, so you will feel the different types of scats. These are some of the scats of the deer and some of the scats of the sambar. On the basis, this is also a type of study. We can see, you see the fruits they are eating, they are coming in the fishes, the pillated forms. You, on the basis of that, you can see that this animal is present, because when this animal is present, only there is a presence of carnivores, because they are, as a ecosystem, they are dependent on the herbivores for their food eating. So, and you see the scats, just like a dog is cats. On this basis, we can say that there's some leopard may be there in this area. So by visualization of the different types of scats, we will able to determine that these types of animals might be present in these jungles. Beside that, we have a well advanced animal tracking system. So this is the range finder instrument. When you visit for the location in a jungle, you have to keep certain instrument for measuring the distance, because once you visualize an animal from your vehicle, you have to measure that distance, how far that animal is from you, and what angle they are. So we have to use the compass, we have to use the rangefinder. This is a laser bounded machine. Just you put a laser on that animals, it will give you distance, immediately it will give a distance. Now, why that distance is required? Suppose you want to restrain that animal, you want to capture that animal, first you have to see the distance, right? What distance from you that animal is, and after calculating the distance, then you can decide at what instrument we are going to anesthetize, or we are going to immobilize that animals. And these are the important collar that is placed on, especially in the case of tiger reserve. So whatever the tiger we have, they are all collared mostly in case of most of the important jungles. So they are there with the collar, so you can easily keep their records. So this is the instrument, just like a small antenna what we are using in the very early when the television has come. So it start in the directions when you moves in the jungles. Most of them are placed with a radio collar. It gives a beep. When you're moving closer to that animals, it gives a stronger beats. When you are moving away from that animals, and then also give a direction, just you have to move, oh, in this direction, the beep on your instrument is coming in a greater way, at a greater frequency. Then you can decide, okay, this animal might be in this 5 or 10 meter and 20 meters away from me. So just you become alert. And this is a camera trap. So this is again a very important. So if you are not able to track the animals in some certain unknown animal, or certain animal coming from the jungle has entered into the human vicinity, you just place a camera trap. So the numerous camera trap are there in the most of the jungles. They are placed, and you can very easily, they are sensitive to the heat, and they are sensitive to the movements. So once the animals start crossing from that area, they used to take the picture and send the picture in the monitor. So on the basis of that, we can be able to appreciate with the help of this night vision camera trap. They are thermal sensitive, they are movement sensitive. So they used to capture, most of the tiger reserve have a numerous camera trap in whole jungle. So on that basis, we can very easily locate the animals. Beside that, being a veterinarian, because in jungle only we are getting an emergency situation. Sometime when you capture animals, because you know the capturing of animal, and the most of the wild animals are suffer from stress. So there is a chance of mortality, and if any tiger or if any leopard die, and if the media come to know, they only blame the doctor. For that, we have a special calculated dose, and some of the very machine we do have this machine, just like a pulse oximeter. We have a dose calculated, a small box of each and every important medicine should be placed. ऐसा नहीं कि अभी हम जाएंगे और ये टाइगर दिख गया है, अब जालाजिन कीटामिन लाने के लिए अजीत को भेज देंगे, अजीत जाएगा जालाजिन, उतना देर में टाइगर वहां पे आपके लिए बैठा नहीं रहेगा. So just you have to keep in mind that अभी क्लास में बात करते हैं. So you have to, every emergency instrument should be with you, and these are some of the very important darting machines used for restraining of the wild animals, and these are the dart gun, and these are some of the dart syringe that is placed with in a gun in a barrel and in this region, and this is a place from where you can generate the speed and the distance of this type of jet, and it gives the directions, and when it is injected into that animals, it remains on the top of the body. So this is me. I'm not a very good shooter. Actually, I tried my best to shoot the animals just as a false animals, but still I am not a very good shooter. So these are some of the other instrument also. For example, this is called pole syringe. This is a physical method of restraining. Suppose if the animal is just sitting 1 and 2 and 3 meters away from you, or if you are squeezing the animals, in case of cage, even in zoo animals, and if you want to do some medication and want to do some investigation, just you put that, this is called pole syringe, put that इंजेक्शन इन दिस रीजन, एंड जस्ट लाइक एक डंडे में एक सिरिंज लगा करके मैंने इंजेक्शन वहां लगा दिया. दिस इज कॉल्ड पॉल सिरिंज when the animal is very close to you, and this is called jab stick. This is just like a pole syringe, but it is injected with a force from a distance. Okay, so from there it is the animal, here the syringe is there, so this is called jab stick. This is the physical method of restraining, and this is the chemical method of a syringe called dart syringe. It has different parts. You see the needle, and there is a cap, so that when it enters into the animal body, it remains in their region, and with the help of, this is the region from where the projectile is there, and the gas is filled. With the help of the pressure, once you touch the animal body, this barrel inject the medicine into the body. So this is the dart syringe with a capacity. The capacity of 10 ml has also come, but generally it is available in a capacity of 1 to 5 ml medicine, or even anesthesia or anything can be injected. Now this is again a very important blowpipe. Suppose if the cat is sitting, a small cat is sitting here, so there is no need of darting, because it creates a great force and there is a chance of injury in that. You, with the help of a blowpipe, the injection that I have shown earlier, this is put on the top of this region, and it is 1 to 2 meter, and it ejected can be 4 to 5 meter distance with the help of your lung capacity. So just you blow from here, it will move in a projectile motion. It goes inside the body of the animals. You see the method. Suppose in case of zoo also, how you will control, if you want to collect the blood from this animal, you want to diagnose the trypanosomiasis from this, how you will control? It will not give you a vein for collection. So just for that, you have to use a blowpipe. So with the help of a blowpipe, the anesthetic or the tranquilizer is injected into the animal body. But there are other instruments. If the distance, you have to control the animals in wild ranging, or if the animal has come in human population, you have to use the immobilization instrument, just like a human pistol. And in this region, this syringe is put, and just like a revolver or just like a pistol, and this is again a rifle. So if the distance 30 meter distance is required, with the help of this, and this is again a laser guided, this is again you have a magnifying glass, and just you keep in that, and there is a pressure adjustment and distance adjustment is there, and when you fire, and if you practice, it will help you. So you see how this is injected, you see it gives the directions, and these are the area is very important. You are not going to dart the animal in this region, because this is the vital organ region. For it should be done in a very muscular region, because once you dart in the abdominal region, the animal may die immediately, and you see the killing of the wild animal act. So becoming a wildlifer, it's really a good job, and really it's good also, but sometimes it's a challenging also. You have to dart, and sometimes you have to dart when a moving vehicle also. So you have to practice in a moving vehicle, in a standing form, because the animal is not remain in this position that you are going to dart in this region, either in the shoulder region, the back region. They are in a movement form. So you have to practice this in case of. So you this see what I have shown thus. These are some of the other instruments, and this is the instrument that is kept inside the soil, covered with this. And when the animal put their leg, so this leg is trapped in this. So these are some of, but this is really some of the injurious physical method of restraining. So you see Jennifer, is the director of Okama Zoo. You can go in and you can track her in Okama Zoo in USA. She is the director of USA. She is using the blowpipe as just as a training form. Blowpipe to as a trainer to see how far you can go for training. And you see, these are the aim, these are the thermocol tiger and the lion we may, and we practice from the different region. So how we can go for physical method of restraining by injecting with the help of a gun. So these are some of the illegal trade. You might be very well versed. And हम लोग बहुत आराम से कभी कभी जाते हैं बाजार में और जा करके एक माला खरीद लेते हैं, लेकिन माला खरीदने के पहले अजीज समझ लेना कि वो कोई वाइल्ड लाइफ ऑरिजिन का नहीं है। गलती से अगर कोई किसी ने बता दिया कि सर ये दांत उसका है, इसमें खुश होने की बात नहीं है। जो पोजेसर, जिसके पास अभी ये वाइल्ड लाइफ का ये छोटा सा चीज है, वो फंसेगा। कोई नहीं कहेगा कि सर उसने हमसे लिया था, मैंने उससे खरीदा था। And the different type of brush. So same laws and regulations will be applied. If you are using the skin also, or you are using a teeth also, or you are even using a tusk also, and you can even the horn of the different herbivores. So you are liable to be punished by the court of law because this is banned in India. So just keep in mind, never purchase this type, although most of them are artificial, looks like of animal origin. But again, your role will be to differentiate whether it is a real one or it is the fake one, because most of them are fake one. But if it is a real one, it costs very high, but at the same time, you may be caught at the airport and different place if you are keeping all these things. So just be careful being a veterinarian. So coming, we have very less time, I think less than a minute.